Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Dave's Faves. We're getting close to the end. Maybe there's, about 20 more to go or so? And then we're all set for this series. But I wanted to talk. I couldn't let this series go by without talking about one of my all-time favorite historical recordings, or a few of them, actually. It's Toscanini plays orchestral showpieces. Now, RCA did like a bazillion Toscanini editions and reissues and things, and I have no doubt that there's another one coming at some point. This was volume 8 of the 2-disc set ones, and it doesn't matter how they're packaged. What matters is what performances are on here. Because that's the key, and you can find them any number of ways. This is called Orchestral Showpieces. And what you get is stuff that I've talked about before with other people doing it. But Toscanini's way with the music really demands to be heard because it is extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary. We start with pictures at an exhibition, something that almost everybody does at their really high level. Boy, is this an exciting performance. It's absolutely stunning. And what we hear in this performance is that, with all these performances, is that Toscanini brings the same kind of care and dedication and intensity that he does to, Beethoven and Brahms and all of those big-name people. And really, one of the things Toscanini knew how to do, and I can't emphasize this enough because this particular set of performances is a clinic in the practice, how to play loud. How to play loud and be exciting as hell, but still detailed, still with fabulous balances and timing and rhythm and all of those things, but with the sense of just this enormous wall of sound coming at you. I mean, the guy knew how to play loud. It's something that's like a lost art today. So many conductors, they're micromanagers, and they're boring micromanagers. Toscanini was a micromanager too in his way, but he was an exciting micromanager because he knew how to play loud. And if you know how to manage a climax and how to let the orchestra seem to be going full tilt at the climaxes, you can micromanage a little bit and no one's going to be much the wiser or care particularly. So this Pictures in an Exhibition is fabulous for that. And so is this Death and Transfiguration. These Richard Strauss pieces is Death and Transfiguration and Till Eulenspiegel. And the Death and Transfiguration particularly is extraordinary. Again, the key is rhythm. Rhythm at high volume. This incredible linearity and transparency of texture. It's like no other performance anyone's ever done. It's absolutely extraordinary how Toscanini manages to balance the interior strands of Strauss's orchestration, which is very thick and very busy, while still seeming to just pull all the stops out. It's extraordinary. I mean, the Till Eulenspiegel is wonderful too, but Till Eulenspiegel is an easier work to do that in because it's more obviously sort of a virtuoso orchestral showpiece, whereas Death and Transfiguration is supposed to be philosophical. Ugh. Yeah, who are we kidding? But still, they're amazing performances. So that's CD1. CD2, you get the Brahms Haydn variations, which are absolutely fabulous and beautifully colored. Oh my goodness, there's so much lovely detail in the wind sections, for example, in this performance. Then a bunch of Hungarian dances, which I don't particularly care about, but here they are. They're zippy and Hungarian. And Finlandia, the Nutcracker Suite, pardon me. The Nutcracker Suite numbers 1 through 8. I don't know what that means. It's like Toscanini's own version of it, which is delicious and perky and picture postcard perfect. And then Finlandia, which is, it's Finlandia. It sounds really heroic and really exciting, as you might expect. And finally, Smetana's The Moldau, a lovely way to wrap things up with a bang. Another really stupendous performance. These are all just vintage Toscanini performances. They're well chosen. I will say one thing about the Toscanini cult, unlike the Furtwängler cult. The Furtwängler cult thinks everything that the guy did was fabulous, no matter how crappy it sounds, or how out of sorts he was, or how bad the playing was. But the Toscanini people are far more selective. Generally speaking, they know how to pick them. And maybe it's just easier to tell with Toscanini because, unlike Furtwängler, this is a myth. Everyone thinks Furtwängler was all spontaneity and all that. It's not true. His performances tended to be rather similar from one to the next. Toscanini's were actually quite a bit more variable. He was always rethinking his approach, even though his basic formula, his basic values remained the same. But sometimes, there were big differences between Toscanini performances. And so the Toscanini people, I think, choose more wisely as on the whole. And these series, all these series of Toscanini stuff have been very, very well put together. And this 2-disc set of orchestral showpieces is quite something. Really quite marvelous. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you for joining me. Take care.